Hi, this is Jason Sohail Ascari.
And this is Anna Ascari.
I grew up and studied about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles all my life.
And I never got the chance to watch any of the original series.
The both of us were going to watch all 193 episodes of the original series.
And give you a perspective from an expert.
And a new viewer.
This is what we call a Turtle Recall.
Alrighty, welcome to episode 3 of Turtle Recall. We will be talking about the episode A Thing About Rats.
Yay!
Yeah! So Anna, I know you've been happy for the past, few weeks because I've been home more often.
Yes, I'm loving it.
So, if you are living underneath a rock, first, invite us to that rock, because that's probably a good place to be at. But, obviously with the current state of the world right now, the actual world, a lot of us have been working from home, and just really have not been able to leave the house, and I'm actually a part of that too. So
which is great, because I think so many people are testing their cooking, they're finding delicious recipes.
Exactly.
Trying all these new things that they usually don't do.
Yes, and binging on a lot of stuff. I know I've been playing a lot of video games that I've been wanting to play that I think I bought like 10 years ago.
Working on your action figure room?
Yeah, I'm working on the action figure room. I finally have an excuse to work on the action figure room.
Yes.
Obviously, for all you guys who are listening to this, be safe, know your hygiene, wash your hands and everything. Just be aware. Something that one of our listeners too, his name is Hopple from Discord. He actually mentioned is that he's actually glad that we haven't been actually addressing this. Hopefully he's not mad that we're kind of doing it now.
Yes, I wanted to say skip it. Let's go to fun stuff.
Yeah. We're definitely gonna go to fun stuff. We just wanted to let you guys know we are aware, but we want to go into entertainment.
Yes.
So, speaking of entertainment and, people binging and everything, March 30th, 1990. Do you know what happened on that day?
I know. The movie came out.
That's right. The movie came out. This is the 30th anniversary of the movie this year. And
I wish it was April 30th, then we could celebrate it with my birthday.
Exactly. If it was just 1 month later, we could be celebrating with Anna. And, obviously you're younger.
Of course.
So,
this is one of the other things that we have to say. Skip it. Not talking about my age.
We're not going to talk about you. Everyone's going to talk about the movie's age and show the world of my age, because I think I was 9 years old when this movie came out. Something around there, either 8 or 9. Something somewhere around there. I remember I was so excited for this movie. I wanted to go see it. I didn't see it right away. And the one thing I do remember is that when my dad took me to the movie theater, we were late because, Iranians have their own, standard time, because Iranians are late to everything. Apparently, that's not just Iranians. That is every nationality that is not your nationality. That is something I find out. But yeah, so... IST is called Iranian Standard Time. We were late to the movie, so when my brother and we went to the movie theater, we were at least 5 minutes late, so we actually missed the whole everyone stealing the wallet scene.
Oh no!
Yeah, exactly. And I think we came in right where Leonardo was slicing up the pizza and one fell on Splinter's head.
I saw that movie when you were watching it yesterday.
Yes.
That was a cool scene. Yes.
It was a very memorable scene. So many memorable scenes. Sam Rockwell, I know you don't know him because you don't know much about American actors, but a few years ago, he won an Academy Award, an Oscar. This was his actual very first movie. And he was just a bit part. He had very few lines.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but the most important line is he made the reference to both Eastman and Layard, like because when the cops would go ask him, where's the hideout and everything, and like this is like his moment of like, oh, since he was part of the Foot Clan, and they were like, oh, the Foot Clan's family and everything, but at this moment he was like, they're not family anymore. So he basically was like, well, they're at the corner of, I believe it's corner of Lairdman and East Island. Something like that. I can't remember the exact line. I just remember that, like, I one thing I do remember is that they kind of like, instead of Eastman, they just said East. and they added something to Laird.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, it was a reference to the original creators and everything. So for the 30th anniversary movie, speaking of Eastman, Kevin Eastman did a live watching of the movie, so we both like kind of watched that as we watched the movie like in our living rooms as well, and he was giving some commentary. I remember it was about 3 or 4 years ago. It was at a convention I went to, and I left you in the house by yourself. We went to a movie theater and watched the original movie, and Kevin Eastman was in there too, and he was giving commentary throughout the whole movie. It was actually really cool.
Oh, that I'm sure that was a very cool experience.
That was a really cool experience, and actually my friend actually recorded all of it. I haven't had, like, we've had this audio for years. We just haven't released it on our channel because I'm not exactly sure what's the best way to release it. Obviously, we can't play the movie and have the audio there. So, but you know what? We need to like release it out there. People should hear some of this.
Yes.
Yes, we might like. I might give it to you.
Yes, we have to edit it to find the creative way.
Yeah, edit it. Maybe we might put some still pictures or something like that. Like, some way that, Viacom does it, or Warner Brothers, whoever like wants to put ownership on this movie.
Don't get mad at us.
Don't get mad at us. Yes, exactly. And disable our YouTube channel. But actually, speaking of our YouTube channel, since we are talking about the 30th anniversary of the movie, be sure to see our interviews. We had it last year. We interviewed Robbie Rist, who is the voice actor of Michelangelo. He did Michelangelo of all 3 of the live-action movies, the original live-action movies. And we also, a few years ago, interviewed Judith Hogue. Yeah, Hogue, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. I know I mispronounced her name before, but we interviewed her as well, and both of them have been like super kind. We've actually we've talked to some of the puppeteers before, if you remember.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah. We unfortunately didn't record our conversation with the puppeteers, but we actually did a video of one of them, and with him doing a puppet and talking to our travel Raphael doll, if you remember.
Yes, that's my favorite video.
Yeah. It's a really cute video. Be sure to check out that video too. That was a fun video as well. So all those videos will be found in our Moving Lakposht YouTube channel. So search it, subscribe to us, and that'd be awesome. One other thing I want to say about the movie, and I know I've said this story many times. So if you've been to like one of my panels, I've hosted, like you probably heard the story probably like 4 or 5 times, and I know my wife has like heard this story so many times, but I never brought it up on the podcast. So it is my opportunity to bring it up in the podcast.
Oh, I think I know this.
Yeah.
It's about you and your mom.
Yes, about me and my mom. So I never learned curse words until this movie came out. I am a son of 2 immigrants, and they just chose not to say curse words in front of their children. I know they eventually, I know they know the curse words because I heard them say it like when I was older. I've had this sheltered life where I was never allowed to watch anything that was more than G, or like I remember I watched Roger Rabbit, and like my parents were like freaking out on like some of the scenes in there. It was just that like we just had like everything sheltered, and then they take us to this movie because it's Ninja Turtles. It's big, popular kids programming. I mean, they didn't think anything was going to come out of this. Well, have you guys seen the original movie? It's PG. They take some liberties with PG, and there are some curse words. We're keeping the podcast as family friendly. So there is one very famous one that Raphael shouts. If you guys don't know this one, it is what beavers build. So I heard this, and this is the first time I ever heard this word, and I'm like thinking, like, this is a cool word. This is just, and so, I'm like, new word of the day, yay! But was a bad word in our, in the house, in my house. This word, never heard this word before. So, I came out of the movie theater. Like I said, my dad was the one who took us to the movies. And then we came home, and after that, my mom was like, you need to go clean your room. And she was like, had fun in the movie? Yeah. Okay, it's time for you to clean your room. And I was, just playing, like I was mad and everything, and I was like, I don't want to clean my room. I'm like, no. And I go in, just like, shake my hands in the air, and I go, what beavers belts? And my mom got upset. 100% upset, because I did not say what beavers built. I said the actual word that what beavers built. And so
I just want a travel machine just to go back and see that scene.
Oh my gosh, she was mad, and she was like, where did you learn that word? And I was like, Raphael said it in the Ninja Turtle movie. And she was like, you don't say that word. Oh gosh. And yeah, so Raphael is the turtle that got me in trouble.
He's rude, but he's cool.
Yeah, he's rude, but he's cool. That's exactly right. Look at Anna listen to the theme song. All right. If you guys have any Ninja Turtle movie memories, we totally want to hear them. Hit us up on our Twitter account. Just we totally want to hear it. But yeah, that's is there anything from the movie? I know you didn't really grow up with the movie.
I still have to watch it again. But for me, I think it was 2 days ago that you were watching. I was paying attention to some of the scenes. I think April was very interesting for me because I met her.
Because you met her, exactly,
yes. Yeah. So it was very interesting for me, like how cute she was in the movie.
Yeah. And she didn't change too much. Just her hairstyle really changed.
Yes, her hairstyle was.
Yeah, Judith Hogue was like in a time machine and like in this time capsule, and we gotta find out her like secrets on like how she stayed like that, because she still looked the same. All right, but yeah, that is pretty much it for the movie. Let's go ahead and start talking about the third episode of Ninja Turtles: A Thing About Rats, but. Before we go talk about that, there's something I actually there's two things I want to add. I meant to say it in the last episode, and it was in my notes, and I skipped it, and I just forgot about it. And I just want to add this as well. First, the theme song. If you remember in our first podcast, if you could understand, because the audio was so bad, you probably had no idea what I was saying. And if you listened to the first podcast and you're still listening to us, thank you. And we promise our audio won't. Hopefully, will never. I make no promises. Our audio might be bad again. Again. Hopefully not. But one thing we commented was the rude versus crude, and I told you guys that we were going to turn on the subtitles and find out which word that the subtitles read in. Well, boot up the DVD and try to turn on subtitles. There is no subtitles on the DVD, so this is still going to be a mystery. Maybe one of the future DVDs has the subtitles. I don't know if my TV has closed captioning. I think that's been outdated. So rude versus crude is still going to be a mystery. Let us know which word you think it is. It's a very popular debate. And something else I want to add. You know that still image in the end credits?
Uh-huh.
Do you know where that came from?
No.
That came from episode 2. When the Turtles and April were trying to find a Technodrome, it's that scene right there. I written on my card or my notepad and everything. I totally meant to mention that, but we're gonna see that still image for like the next almost 4 seasons. Like, you know, when we get to season 4, there's gonna be like different things, but like when we get to season 4, we'll explain like what weird things happen in season 4.
Okay.
But yeah, that whole like, you know, where the April and the Turtles are in the sewer in this big hole and everything. That was a still shot from episode 2.
That's cool.
All right. That is enough about that. Let's go ahead and talk about episode 3. I Think About Rats.
I finally got introduced to Baxter Stockman.
That's right. This is the episode we introduced Baxter Stockman.
Because I always heard his name, but I didn't know anything about him. But now I know.
Now you know. Did he look... Okay. So, this is the first time you actually watching the original cartoon, and I know you watched the 2012 series, and obviously you watched a lot of 2012 series because of all of our review videos we did for that during the time. And I know there's a lot of other like comic book stuff and everything. You've seen the images and everything. Was there a big difference between Baxter Stockman that you saw with this Baxter Stockman and all the other versions of Baxter Stockman?
Of course.
Like...
he was a bug in the other ones.
Well, okay. Not that one. Not that one. Well, just put a little cap on the bug. Right now, we don't want to spoil things. This is but no, like, you know, we see Baxter Stockman, but like, well, you know, like his face. Did he have like something? Did he not have something on his upper lip? Did he, like, you know, was there something like just different about him?
You mean like your mustache?
All right.
Because here he looks like an innocent doctor that somehow fall into this trap.
All right. All right. I'm gonna be direct now. All right. Yes, he did. In all the other versions, he had a mustache, but his skin color was also a lot different too. As his skin color was a lot darker than what it is in this series. This series, they decide to whitewash him, and.
Oh, okay. I wanted to say like he had like another. He was from another like race or something.
Yeah. He was a African American or black. Only reason because I have a friend who's from Jamaica and he hates the term African American. So like whenever people tell him, I was like, no, just say I'm black. but yeah. Whichever, like, you know, obviously we're trying to keep this as PC as possible, but yeah, he was definitely a lot darker. In the comics and every other media, Baxter was definitely was like, you know, he was a different race. Then he was not Caucasian, and in the other ones, just this series just decided to make him a blonde white doctor. And you know, I'm sure if the comics were popular, or if like even if like something else came out that was more famous, there would be an outrage on like why like his race suddenly changed. But the fact is, a lot of people who got introduced to Ninja Turtles first was introduced to this Baxter Stockman. So who ended up like especially the 2003 series was like me personally, that was the first time I seen what Baxter Stockman should be looking like from the comics, and all of a sudden I was kind of like, whoa, he looks different. You know, in 2003 version, he did not have a mustache. I'm just saying.
So to me, what I was paying attention, which I know it might not make sense, but in the art world it makes sense. Usually, I was paying attention. He had like a yellow tie, and his hair was more like blonde. It was yellow, and all the bad guys Shredder and the food they had like purple colors. Usually in the art they said that the like yellow and purple are the colors that they complete each other.
Oh, as a non-artist animator, I had no idea. And you're probably right. That's probably why they went that direction. Well, we talked about Baxter Stockman, but we didn't actually talk about the episode. Honey, we need a summary.
So in this episode, we introduced to Baxter Stockman. He's a doctor that he's trying to make like some kind of like machines that he can make money. So he's talking with a pest control company, and Shredder is watching in his camera again, his secret camera in his technodrome that he can watch everyone. And he got interested because it was about like getting rid of the masses, and the pest control guy didn't like it because he wanted to make money, and Shredder liked it, so he went and I think captured the Baxter Stockman and start making so many masters to get rid of Splinter. And then Turtles came out in April, and they all went to the April house apartment, and
you already forgot what happened. Do you remember they went to the apartment and then the masters were attacking there?
Yes, masters were attacking them, and then
then they went to the other house, the where Shredder and Baxter Stockman were at.
Yes.
And then they turned off the machine and all the masters were deactivated.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Like deprogram the masters to go after Shredder.
That's right. That's good job. So this episode's a little special to me. You want to know why?
Why? Because this is about programming.
Yeah, this is about programming. No, this was the first episode I watched.
Oh, really?
Yes! Alright, so this episode originally aired December 16th, 1987. Now, like I explained on the other previous episodes before, when these episodes aired, it took over a show. And I can't remember what show it took over. Syndication, they had like a programming slot, and then the company kind of gave them this thing, like, hey, air this for a week. And they just and the way that the affiliates had to take out something to air this one, and this was like a, hey, this is a special week for this special show. Now, obviously, whatever show that this replaced for that week, I just was not watching, or it was. It was on reruns. It could have been like Looney Tunes or something like that, or Popeye, or just something that like I've seen to death. And that I was like, okay, no.
Okay.
I just remember the day I came from school. I was flipping through the channels, and for some reason I was watching TV by myself. Maybe my brother was doing homework or something. I can't remember. But I just remember I was watching it by myself. And as I was flipping through something, and then all of a sudden, this one caught my eye, and I didn't watch like the full episode. I watched it right where Michelangelo was captured at the end, and from that point on, so I probably watched like the last 5 minutes of it, something like that. And I don't know why, I cannot tell you, but something I was like, this is like something about it was cool. I don't maybe it was the fact it was 4 talking turtles. Like there was there was this, the bad guy looked pretty menacing.
So before that, you didn't have any background of Ninja Turtles?
No, I had no background in Ninja Turtles. I just remember after the show finished, like, I turned off the TV, I ran to my brother, and I was like, oh my god, this is I just watched the most incredible thing ever, and we have to watch it tomorrow because there's gonna be a new episode of this tomorrow.
That's so cool.
And like, and as I was explaining the show, and I was telling him, because I was obviously basing this show for like the last 5 minutes of the show. So in my mind, I was like, okay, there's a show, and there was like these big talking turtles, and this piece of talking bubble gum also helps them.
Bubblegum.
Yeah, bubble gum. I didn't know he was a brain, even though Michelangelo clearly says it's a brain. But I was like, this, like, you know, the turtle was captured, and then they got help from another friend who was a bubblegum, and he went and like untied him and everything. I didn't know it was either the next episode, I believe it was the next episode, or the episode after that. No, it was the next episode where I find out that Krang was actually a bad guy. I didn't know. I just thought because I didn't know the concept. I didn't get the context of it. I was like, oh my gosh,
That's so cool.
yeah. So, but yeah, like, and then I just remember being so devastated after the 5th episode, and then like they're like, oh, we're not showing this show again, and I was like, wait, where'd it go? And then I didn't get to watch it until like later on, like a few months later. They showed it again. They were like, oh, we have a special encore showing, and I remember when they announced the encore showing, I was all excited and everything, and I made sure to block out that time. I was like, oh no, we're watching all this again. But yes, this is the very first episode I actually watched, and like I said, it was total accident. I did not see any advertisement for this. This was just something totally new to me, had no background of it, and at that my young age, my mind was blown. Even though it was like the last 5 minutes of the show, my mind was blown, and I knew that this was going to be my new favorite show.
That's so cool.
Yes.
But now that you're talking about the bubblegum, one of the cool things is that I think they never try to animate. Like if the Krang was a character these days, they would animate it like when he was walking, he was using the hands like maybe like a octopus something.
Right.
But in this animation, I think they intentionally didn't try to animate it, and I saw that in this episode they put him on a stool.
Yeah, they put him on a stool. If you remember, I have the NECA figure of, like, it came from San Diego Comic-Con like a few years ago, and that the Krang actually, you can put him in his little bubble walker that we'll see later on in the series. But then there's also a stool. And it like, so you can put them like on that stool. And if you guys did not get that Krang figure, a new wave of NECA figures are coming to Target, and I believe Krang and Shredder are already out now. Like, but it's a 2-pack of, you can get both Krang and Shredder, and it's going to be $55, $54, something like that. It's like $52. It's a pretty hefty price, but it's totally worth it. But you know what? Let's go ahead and start talking about the episode. So one of the first things I actually wrote about this episode is, and I can't believe I forgot to mention this in the first episode, our first podcast. There's this plot that in this series has that is not in any of the other Ninja Turtle series, and that is that the Turtles, they have a plan. Their goal is to get Splinter human again. And in fact, like, that was actually the goal of the original NES game. Like, at the end of the original NES game, Splinter turns back into human, which never happens. But like, it was always like kind of strange to me that, like, they're like, oh, we gotta get Splinter back to human. We gotta get Splinter back to human. And then after this season, like, they never talk about that again. They never try again. But you never see that in any of the other series, mainly because the comics, like, he was a rat, then he turned into a mutated rat, and then, but the other two series, the 2012 series and the current Rise of the Ninja Turtles, he was human, then he turned into rat. But even those two series, they don't try to turn him back to human, and there's no desire, like. But it was just always kind of weird to me that, like, that this one, and especially, like I said, this plot gets abandoned, like, after the season. Like, no, they don't talk about it again.
That's so cool. I don't know, maybe that they thought that if he came back to a human, he can has more power.
I don't know. Maybe it was a original plot that the series had, and then they probably, like, when they got promoted to a full show. They're like they probably like abandoned it maybe because like they're like, oh, there probably wasn't much meat into that, and so they probably just like made it into like, okay, let's just concentrate on the turtles just saving the world instead of like going on a singular plot.
Yes.
That's the only thing I could really think of.
Usually you talk about these stories, I usually pay attention to other like cinematic stuff.
Yeah.
One of the things which was interesting for me in this episode was the transition that they were using for between the scenes in this episode.
Like what do you mean by the transition? I have not been paying attention to this.
Transition means like how they switch from one scene, one shot to another shot.
Right.
And they were using like a kind of like circle kind of transition that it blurred one scene and
it just went to like a circle and then like it just like turned everything into a circle and then just go to another scene.
No, like the new scene appear like a small circle and start getting bigger
it then expands. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Like, you know, so like the next scene like it starts out with a small little circle and then expands. I totally was not even. I never paid attention to that. I mean, I know like one of the most famous transitions like is like the Star Wars wipe, where Star Wars did this whole thing where like when it goes from one scene to another, they just kind of like wipe the scene. Like I know that's a famous one, and then you have like the first like the 2008 Hulk movie, like where they did everything like comic panels. But no, I never like really paid attention to that. Now I have to keep my eyes open for that next time.
Yes, they will keep repeating in this episode. It was like zoom, like a circle zoom kind of thing.
Like a circle zoom kind of thing. I have to pay attention to that. Something I did pay attention to is that in this animation, the line beaks on the turtles are back. Like they weren't in the previous episode, but in this episode, the line in the middle of their noses or beaks, or whatever you want to call them, they came back. And I do believe, and I was actually trying to look this up, I couldn't find anything on it, but I believe that it was a separate animation company that made like this episode and the first episode between the second episode.
Oh, okay.
Like that's what I'm thinking. I'm because usually, especially like these shows where they're trying to pump it out so much, they usually have multiple animation studios doing the episode so that to get it fast. So that's something I did notice. Something you didn't mention, we mentioned a lot before we actually started discussing about the episode, is Baxter Stockman. And we've said the big differences between him and everything. We also see the Mousers in this. Both of these actually originally came from the comics, and now they are actually in the series. Mousers are pretty much in every Ninja Turtles media except for the movies that I can think of. Like like comics, video games. I guess they're unique enough that like they kind of like put them everywhere. And like especially in the video games, the arcade game where they go and bite your hand and you have to like you see the turtle like shaking their hand up and down.
But to be honest, now I understand why people love this original series so much. It's somehow you get addicted to it because it has so many like cool creating the characters are so strong, the lines are very strong, the story like you can easily follow up it like even now you don't get bored of it. Right.
So something I do want to add about the Masters, what I thought was kind of like ironic is that so at the beginning of the episode, like when they animate the Mouser, especially the Mouser going through the maze and everything, it's like beautifully illustrated and animated and it looks great. And then as the story progresses,
they keep using it.
What?
They keep using it the same.
No, not that they kept using the same one. I know they did a lot of looping. In it. I know that, but it's just that the animation kind of like kept degrading. Like when there was like more Mousers on the screen and like I guess like. You can tell like the artist was almost like the hand was getting tired and like Like I was like, that's acceptable, but like the masters, like when it was like a singular master looked great, and then like you get to like when there's more and more and more and more, like just the quality keeps dipping down, almost like a real like production line.
So at the beginning, when we see the Dr. Baxter Stockman, we see some kind of fly machine.
The thing that Shredder puts out and that has the cameras and everything?
Yes.
Okay, I wrote that in here right there, bugs from the game. So those things, they're actually in like the arcade game. And what we don't like, I don't think we see them again after this. Kind of like those rolling robots that we saw like in the last episode.
Uh-huh.
They're in the game, and then like especially like you could tell that the arcade game, like they took like every element they could from first season, and that's probably all they had like when they're developing it. But yeah, like we see those fly things, and like we never see them again. They're not that important. It's just that, like I said, but they're like prominent in the game. Or they're not prominent, but like they're a big part in the game.
Yes, that would be cool. Like to do a shout out to these toy companies, ask them to make like a exclusive package just for all these kind of machines.
Yes.
That somehow they put like a small Lego of the Ninja Turtles. That would be very cool.
It would be cool. That would be cool. I know NECA's making those rolling robot things, but hopefully we can get some of these other things. Like obviously, like the only reason I would only want to see these is because like they were in the arcade game. But yeah. But yeah, no, I wrote about them too, and like I said, I don't think we see these things again.
The other thing was that drill kind of thing in the a technodrome that they could make a hole in.
Yes.
And move from one place to other place.
Yes. That thing. Yes. That's like a really strange like tentacle kind of thing that like I don't think we ever see that again, because after this, like after the season, like when the technodrome it comes back to Earth. Oh, sorry if you haven't seen the original series and you didn't know that the technodrome like leaves Earth and then comes back. But like we don't see that tentacle thing anymore. They actually have like this real like kind of like vehicle that they use to go through all that. But over here is actually a tentacle thing. Something I do want to bring up is the pest control company. Do you know what the name was?
No, I just remembered it says pest control.
Yeah, it was called like Ajax Pest Control, and that's like Ajax is like a very common name. You'll see, like, I'm pretty sure there really is a Ajax Pest Control out there, and I really think they probably got this from like looking in the phone book. And the reason why it's ironic, if you guys don't know, a lot of companies back in the like 70s and maybe 60s, I don't whenever the phone book was invented. I don't know when that is because I'm not a phone book expert. But whenever that is, if you guys don't know what a phone book is, in the past, we used to have this huge like thing that like that you would like use to stand up on because you're a child who's short, and it was big and heavy, but it had phone numbers. It had everyone's phone number. Your phone number was on it. You had to pay money to not have your phone number in it.
Really?
Yes, exactly. Oh, and the back, so there's the white pages, because the white pages had like, all the residents, and then you had the yellow pages. That's where all the businesses were. What companies did was they named their companies with an A so that they could be in the front of the phone book.
Uh-huh.
And so that's what I thought it was ironic with this one. It was called like Ajax, and I'm like, I really think like whoever like made this, they kind of like flipped through like, oh, let's go find a pest control name, and they probably like just grabbed the first one they could from the phone book.
That's so cool.
But yeah, like if you notice that there's a lot of like especially like driving schools, like a lot of them is like AA or A1 driving school or something like that. That is why. Is because they want to be in the front of the phone book. Now it doesn't matter because phone books are extinct now.
I thought it was also very smart, the line that the pest control guy said that are you crazy? You want to get rid of the like all the rats? You want to get us like out of the job?
Exactly. Yes. The pest control guy did not want these mousers because he was afraid that if we get rid of all the rats from New York, that he would be out of a job. He wanted job security.
I think this line is from one of the turtles said about Shredder. It says that guy have a thing about rats.
Oh, okay. I actually wrote that. That is Baxter.
Yes. It was
Baxter's the one. Baxter's the one. He says that about Shredder, and it's funny because he actually said the line. He actually said the title of the episode.
Oh. It's funny I wrote it, but I forgot.
You forgot? Yes, that's the title of the episode. Like where he just says, like, "Oh, he has a thing about rats." He says he has a thing about rats. Yeah, that's the actual title of the episode. So actually, speaking of titles of the episode, at one point when the turtles, like, they're trying to find who Baxter Stockman is before they know who he is. I didn't write which turtle that said it. Not my bad. But one of them said his name is Baxter Stockman. That is an actual title of a 2012 episode of the series. Like that was the first episode that they introduced Baxter Stockman. And that was the title that they introduced him, was like, and it was his name is Baxter Stockman. And so I don't know if the 2012 series they actually used that line to be that line in that episode or not, but it's very ironic, and like I was like, I just thought it was kind of funny that like a turtle like spoke that, and I was like, wait a minute.
So do you know who is the writer of this script for the original cartoons?
I know Fred Wolf did a lot of the writing for the scripts. I forget, like, it's on the freaking title, and every time we put a episode out, we put like the title as our image.
I would love to that we have a chance to interview one of them.
Oh my god, that would be incredible. Oh man, if you are original writer of the series, if you want to come in here and talk to us, we would love to talk to you. Oh my god, that would just be amazing. We just want to pick your brain.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I know under Fred Wolf did it, and there was another one that's also credited at the beginning. Now, and however, like, they put both their names on all 5 of these episodes, and I've read on sources that they just put those 2 names in, and that there were other writers, they just didn't credit them. But if you wrote for the series, or if you know how to get in contact with someone who wrote for the series, let us know. We'd love to talk to you guys.
One of the things I thought that it was very interesting for me was that Krang, when he was talking to, I think he was Michelangelo, when he was talking about Shredder, he was calling him Saki.
Saki, yeah. Now, he wasn't talking to Michelangelo that scene. He was actually talking to Shredder. Is just that every time Krang calls, most of the time, Krang actually calls Shredder Saki. Like, he calls him by his real name. He doesn't, sometimes he'll say Shredder, but a lot of times he says, Saki! Saki!
Oh my god, I love the way he's making. Yes. The Brad Riley does an awesome job voicing Krang, this is a common thing. He will call him Saki throughout the series. So, and Shredder was saying that this is my fight, and Krang was saying that keep failing until you give me the body.
Exactly. So, like I said, when I was a child, at the end when Krang helps Mikey, as a child, I only watched that portion. I thought Krang was a good guy. I didn't, because I was like, why would a bad guy help another bad guy? Especially the reason why Krang helps out Mikey, and I find out later on, is that Krang wants Shredder to fail, and he makes it clear he wants him to fail, so Shredder can build Krang his body, because that is what Krang wants. He needs someone to build a body, and Shredder has all these way to make mechanical things and everything. Obviously, him and it looked like when they were building the Mousers, it almost looked like a 3D printer. I know eventually it's an assembly line, but like when they first you see the Mouser and there's like lasers on the mouse and everything. My immediate thought was like, did the 80s and like have a concept of the 3D printer before, like way before anyone else had this concept?
Just read my note here.
Shredder fill out a patent.
Because he was pulling the watermark, I don't know, Lego or something.
He puts the he puts like the Baxter Stockman insignia on the freaking like foot of the Mousers.
Yes, I was like, he probably filled out the patent for the Mousers.
He probably did at one point. Okay, so when the Mousers, they go into the sewers and they attack Splinter. The turtles come in, they defeat him and everything. There was only 12 because Shredder was like, "Oh, I only had time to make 12," and he was being gung ho and he just wanted to pull that trigger already. So he had the Mousers out there, and the fact that he put the freaking logo, Baxter Stockman logo, I believe it was Donatello who says, "What idiot puts his own name on a death machine?"
Yes, exactly.
You would think somewhere in Shredder's mind, this mastermind and this master planner and everything, and be maybe we should not. He was I want to make this exactly from the exact detail. Maybe not put the stamp of the creator's name.
No, the interesting part was that he wrote the Baxter Stockman name.
Yeah, he wrote the Baxter Stockman name on there. Yes, because he wanted to make it exactly the way that Baxter Stockman built. That label was not going to make the Mousers run or anything like that. It's not like that. It was not like that stamp was what keeps the Mousers balanced. That was one detail he could have just cut out, and then this whole episode, half this episode would have been just done, and he probably could have succeeded. He can't blame this screw up on Rocksteady and Bebop. As future episodes, we see that they are the morons that ruin all the plans.
Well, all these small details that make this show great.
Yes, exactly. The Turtles, they fight the Mousers and everything. They decide to take Splinter to April's apartment. Something one thing that they did to have Splinter alone, because Splinter, April was in the sewers with Splinter, and then she was "Oh, I need to leave the house. I need to I haven't been home for so long and everything," which I understand. She hasn't been home, but then one thing she mentions is I need to check if I still have a job. The last episode, she was in the Channel 6 news building with her boss.
You never know. These days, you sleep, you wake up, you don't have a job.
That's true. That's true. You're absolutely right. It could be true. It could be true. It's just it was just something weird. I'm why did they add that line in there? Because but obviously it was the way the script writers had it to have her so Splinter be by himself.
Yeah.
With the Mousers and everything. It was a weird. To me, it was a weird thing, but.
So, April is staying with the Turtles because she likes them and she likes that this...
She was staying with the Turtles because the Foot were targeting her because of her reporting from the first episode.
Okay.
And so...
So for her safety...
she's been staying with the Turtles.
Okay.
And then, this episode, she decided to go to go back to her apartment. And... when we first see April in her apartment, we actually hear April's theme. And I believe this is the first time we heard her theme. I don't believe they played it in the other two episodes. But we hear the little somber tone of her theme. It was really nice to hear that.
By the way, I was digging their living room in the sewers with their cute little TV, those old-fashioned TVs.
Yes.
And that Japanese carpet that Splinter was doing yoga on it.
Yes. Yeah, you're liking that?
Yeah, that was very interesting.
So, something I really need to do is because for my office right now we have Zoom meetings and everything. I need to put like the turtles layer because you can like change the background of that. I need to put the turtles layer as my background for my Zoom meetings from now on. I need to get a picture of that and just.
You should.
I totally should. This is the first time we see the April's apartment. You know, the turtles that take Splinter over there because you know his kind of weak, and they're like, oh, we need April to watch him and everything over there. And one thing I noticed was like you know when like April just kind of like leaves like the turtles like kind of like hey go do your own thing, I gotta get myself ready. Like Mikey immediately the first thing he does is open her fridge because he's hungry because he's Mikey.
Full of pizza.
She has a refrigerator full of pizza.
Yes, that moment my question was how April is so fit and like she is in shape when her freezer is full of pizza.
Exactly. And then like, you know, she gives the turtles grief. I'm like, all you guys think about is pizza. And then over here, hypocrite April is like, has just a fridge, just like, just from top to bottom with like pizza on it.
that was what I wasn't expecting it.
No one was expecting that. I guess maybe those boxes were the easiest thing to draw, and like they just didn't want to put like essential things like a woman like her would probably have, like you know veggies, milk, like you know just like no, let's just make it all pizza.
So when April opened the door and she saw the turtles, I think it was Michelangelo said that, what do you think of a subscription turtle home?
Oh, that was Raphael that said it. To Turtles Monthly or something like that.
Subscription turtle home companion?
Yeah, home companion.
I wanted to ask you, what would you do if one day you open the door and you see like 4 turtles asking you that turtle home companion?
First, I'll freak out. Because then I'll be like, wait a minute. Giant talking turtles are real. Like, you know, they shouldn't be real. And then I would like close the door because like, you know, this is why God invented video doorbells now. So we can avoid these solicitors from like selling us magazine subscriptions. No one should be going to your house for magazine subscriptions now, but like now we have like just other like you know like especially like our neighborhood we get a lot of college students needing like selling us newspapers so they can get like a college fund or something like that. I'm like newspapers with coupons like this is a digital age, no one needs this. I thought you were in college.
And by the way, how on earth turtles came to April house during the day without those suits that they were hiding themselves like?
That is a great question. I did not even think about that. Yeah, how did they not get it's 4 giant turtles, a giant rat, and they're just walking around. They like you know, and this is an apartment. This is not her house. Like you know, like there had to be at least one like you cannot tell me that no one noticed this.
Yes.
We do see some old tech. We see April with the most 80s looking computer, like not even 80s. This is like 70s thing. I mean, you know, had a floppy drive and everything.
Oh, I didn't pay attention.
Oh no, I did. The computer programmer was like, nope, that's old. Yeah, and also something else I noticed was, you know, when Raph was in her bathtub, or not bathtub, I'm sorry, in her bathroom, and on the door, when like, you know, Raph grabs the cap because, you know, he was like, oh, you gotta pour 1 cap full of bubble.
Jelly bean bubble.
Yeah, jelly bean bubble solution. Like, you know, first, I guess turtles don't realize that the thing on top of the bottle is also called a cap. Like, you know, I guess he's only just thinking of a hat.
Uh-huh.
But we see April's jumpsuit on the bathroom door.
Oh, that's very like smart of like the designers like to put that in the background.
Yeah, it was actually pretty cool. I like that. I like that little detail.
Yes. Now, when you said that, I just remember that you told me that Pixar said that you should always have some details in animation that when you that no one might pay attention, but if someone pauses the movie, then they can find out some cool stuff.
Hey, there you go. Look at that. Pixar taking notes from Ninja Turtles. maybe that's where they got this animation from. Or maybe it's an animation trick that a lot of people already know.
Something that I noticed in so many scenes, especially when they are in the van or in the car, I don't know why, but we only see 3 turtles. They lay out somehow that we only see 3 turtles. I don't know why they don't try to fit 4 of them.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. But, like, yeah, you're right. They didn't... Like, obviously, this van's going to become... Because, they go to Baxter Stockman's lab. They find... they interrogate him, and then they grab his van, and this van has so many equipment in it. Obviously, this van is going to be very important in a future episode. If you know what it is, just, kind of keep it quiet. Don't spoil it for other people. But the turtle van really only has 2 seats in the front, and then
only one of them is
only one of them is kind of in the back, and but yeah.
Even other scenes, there were so many scenes that they were in the sewers, and I just see 3 of them, and then we hear the other one, then the camera moves.
The camera moves, and we see the other one. That's a great. That is a great question. I don't know. Maybe it was more effective to only do 3 at a time, so they didn't have to constantly put 4. Maybe if you remember the previous episode, when the turtles were in that street gear, there was only 3 of them. Leonardo was kind of missing.
Yeah.
Maybe this was their one of their cheats they did, so they didn't have. That's a good question. Oh man, we need to find animators to find out about these things. So let's talk about some weapons here, because the turtles have their weapons, but we see some other weapons, especially April.
Like the Tangle.
Yes, exactly, like Tangled. Yes. Like Rapunzel, she has a freaking roller, and Rapunzel didn't have a roller, but she also had the frying pan, and using those to smash the mousers.
Yes.
So that is what April's using as weapons. But the other thing is that later we see Shredder in his shooting at Michelangelo, and this is our first laser gun. We've seen lasers before. We've seen the lasers. Obviously, because there's a kids cartoon, kids cartoons can't have real guns. This was 80s law, with G.I. Joe and everything. We see laser guns, and I was like, oh, it's a laser gun. But yeah, we're gonna see that this. We're never gonna see a real actual gun. Everyone that shoots stuff is going to be lasers.
By the way, I was paying attention that even in this episode, Michelangelo's weapons was the most effective to destroy the masters.
That's right. He has the most dangerous weapon. All right. We're gonna bring up we're gonna show all these things. We're gonna make a little sizzle reel, and then when I mentioned in my next panel, when I mentioned that Mikey's weapon was replaced in the UK because it was the most dangerous, and people are like, why? I'm gonna show all this, and they're like, this is why. This is why, exactly. Not only is this our first time we see the laser gun, this is the first time we hear the phrase Chrome Dome.
What is Chrome Dome?
Chrome Dome, it is a insult that the turtles give Shredder.
I didn't notice that.
You didn't notice? Yes. We're going to hear that a lot. And in fact, there's going to be a whole new character name with this name. But now, it's just that it was just something. It was Chrome Dome, Tin-Faced Geek. There's a lot of stuff that the turtles used to insult him. But this was a big famous one.
That's so cool. We have to write all these things and to keep them, because some of them that I put a note for myself was it wasn't for the Shredder, but overall Turtle Boy, Master Control.
Yeah.
Something I want to mention, which I thought wasn't very smart. So at one scene, Shredder says a quote which is so catchy. And I thought it's not good for a kid's cartoon to give a bad quote that is catchy, because he said it feels so good to be so bad.
Oh, that quote! It's such a good quote.
It is a good quote, but it goes in your unconscious that you always feel like, okay, it feels so good to be so bad. I don't want that. My kid has that code in his head.
So I'm not gonna lie, all right. I love your accent and everything. That's why I married you. But for a while, at first I thought you were saying coat, like something you wear, like a jacket. And I was like, where are you going with this? But yeah, but no. But no, this is like I understand what you're saying, but it's still bad guys need good quotes too. Let's go ahead and get into the segment here, which I like to call Wrong Turtle Talking. Because this one, it actually doesn't happen so often, and at first, like, there was a while I was like, okay, I think I wrote this section for nothing, but then it did not disappoint me. No. We got two big instances where we see the wrong turtle talking. So the first one is actually in the van. So at one point, Mikey's talking because, Mikey's driving the van and everything, and all of a sudden, like, he's talking, but it's not his voice. It's Donatello's voice.
Oh.
Yeah, they put Donatello's voice on Mikey's body. And then towards the end, Raph's voice comes out of Donatello, and when Mikey explains about, like, Mikey's talking about, like, oh, I just saw a talking brain, and then we hear Donatello's voice come out of Raph's body saying, like, oh, I think you ate one too many pizzas.
I think next time you saw a wrong turtle talking, just pause and let me enjoy it too.
All right, I'll do that. I'll pause it. We'll write down the time code so people can find it.
Yes, let's everyone enjoy this wrong turtle talking.
Okay. Let us know. Do you guys want us to put the time codes out there for the wrong turtle talking? Okay, we're gonna do it anyway.
Some other thing that was I was enjoying was the background of the animation.
Yeah.
I like that because we always see, like, for the cartoons they put like sharp, cartoony backgrounds, but for this one I love that how, like, they try to put, like, those dark, realistic of New York.
Yes.
I thought it was very interesting.
It was pretty interesting. Something I also found interesting in this episode. We see a lot of houses. Okay, not a lot. There's two, but they just crumble and just go away.
Yes, and no one comes out to see, like, what's happening.
Yeah, no one's coming out. Like, a whole apartment building just goes, and, like, hopefully no one else was in that apartment building.
Exactly.
It went to the ground, and then also like this Shredder's, like, new hideout. Something else I kind of want to add is at the end of this episode, Mikey comes out and he tells them, like, hey, I've seen a talking brain, turtles don't believe him and everything. Now, in the 2012 series, if you see that, Mikey does this there too, actually, which I thought it was like a really cool callback that the 2012 series did, was because Mikey's the one who sees the
Krang?
Yeah. In the 2012 series, he sees the Krang, and over here, Mikey is the first one to see Krang, and, like, but the turtles totally don't, like, the turtles who are, like, giant talking turtles can't grasp the concept that they're, and, like, especially this, they just saw, like, a mutant warthog and a mutant rhino. They can't, but, like, a talking brain, way too far-fetched.
Yes, because, like, because they can, I think, because they can accept that those are, like, mutated, but this is a whole new creature.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, like I said, in the 2012 series, in the first episode, Mikey's the one who actually sees the talking brains, the Krang, over there first time. That was a nice callback to 2012 series did. And that's how, like, basically how this episode, like, closes. Is there anything else you wanted to add about this?
No, I just wrote that. Did you know that Shredder has the same field of study as you, because he was all the time programming?
He was all the time programming. He has my.
And you're a programmer.
Oh, you know what? You guys should now be aware of me. I might be something I do want to add is at Larry Seahawker from Twitter. What he said about this episode. That was my phone making noise. What he said about this episode was he remembered that Michelangelo was the hero, which was kind of cool because he's normally a screw up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and he also talked about the transport module tentacle thing that he thought that was actually super weird. Like how you mentioned that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. He also mentioned something else as well, but I'm gonna bring that up in the next episode. Is there anything else you want to add to this?
Something that I was just thinking that how come Splinter is so useless?
Because he's old. No, he's not useless. You'll see he's not really useless. He's the one who trains them and everything.
I know so many fans are like mad at me.
He's passing his teachings on to them. Soon the students will become the masters.
Because I just see that they put like the old Splinter in the house. They're trying to take care of him, and we don't see like he do much.
He fought those monsters by himself, and even though he claims we're soon gonna meet our ancestors, like a meet and defeat, but he did the turtles. Yeah, the turtles came to rescue him, but
There was a scene that Leonardo was carrying a Splinter to rescue him, and he was doing just nothing, like a kid that the dad is saving him.
Soon that's gonna be my son. He's gonna be saving me too. All right. So that's pretty much it for episode 3. Thing about rats. Next episode, we are going to be talking about the 4th episode, Hot Rotting Teenagers from Dimension X. That's right. We're going to meet just even brand new characters, and these are like 3 brand new characters that are made specifically for this cartoon series. And also this is the first full episode that young Sohail, Jason, whatever my name was during that time, watched from start to finish everything. If you have any comments, questions, or discussion points you want, please reach out to us at Twitter, Discord, or even email. Just reach out to us and we will read it on here for future episodes.
Yeah, then please don't get mad at me. I love Splinter.
She loves Splinter. She thinks Splinter is cute. She wants the new Naked figure. She said he was adorable. All right. Till next time, guys. All right. See ya.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to us. If you have any comments or memories you want to share, be sure to reach out to us on Twitter at Turtle Recall Pod. Turtle Recall is proud to be a part of the Res TV network. Be sure to go to res.tv to check out our podcast and other great podcasts they have available.